Fairy Tale Meditation. A magical power lies within you. Written and translated by Petra Szabó. Either you believe that nothing in this world is magic, or you believe that everything in this world is magic. Welcome. Please make yourself comfortable. Lie down on your bed, recline on the sofa, or simply rest in your favorite chair. Take a few deep breaths and feel how, with every breath, you fill yourself with life-giving energy. Withdraw your attention from the outer world and empty your mind. Cleanse yourself of everything that troubles you. As you breathe out, release every negative thought and every unpleasant feeling. Simply exist in the here and now, surrendering yourself to ease in the knowledge of natural well-being. Trust that you are in perfect safety. And now, I would like to take the child who lives within you by the hand and guide them into an enchanted realm, a wondrous place steeped in magic, a place that may seem like nothing more than a living painting of your imagination, yet which the child within you knows with unwavering certainty to be far truer and more real than reality itself. Tonight, you had a most peculiar dream. It was as though you had become a little child once more. You lay in your bed, and beside you, in the rocking chair, sat a strange old half-being. It seemed as though he had stepped straight out of one of your childhood storybooks. His thick black eyebrows arched high upon a brow furrowed with wrinkles, from which two ram's horns curled. His irises glowed with the orange of sunset and the softness of honey. Ancient wisdom shone in his gaze. You knew that his name was Grimoire, and it was no secret to you that he possessed magical powers, nor that he truly dwelt within the great trunk of an enchanted willow tree, in another world. He told you adventurous tales of goblins, fairies, dragons, trolls, mountain horrors, wicked shadows, fearless warriors, curses, and spells, and you listened, utterly spellbound. As he wove his stories, the shadows stirred in the light of the lamp upon your bedside table. They took the shapes of creatures born of fantasy and whirled into merry dances upon the walls of your room. Every tale he spoke came to life through some unknown power. You felt, with strong and certain conviction, that you had known Grimoire for a very, very long time. He was stranger and more singular than anyone you had ever met, and yet, for reasons you could not explain, he seemed real, warm, living, made of flesh and blood, as though he wished only to remind you of something, or prepare you for something yet to come. A mysterious radiance flowed across Grimoire's face, half hidden by his white beard, cast by the great book he held upon his lap. Through the round lenses of his gold-rimmed spectacles, he looked at you with a fatherly smile. When the tale was finished, he closed the purple, leather-bound book, and the golden glow within it faded into darkness. Though you longed to, you could not catch a glimpse of what had shone between its pages. Then Grimoire drew from the pocket of his waistcoat a tiny silver key, its bow adorned with a sparkling green emerald. He placed it into your hand and said, "You shall soon have need of this. Guard it well and always keep it with you." You admired the precious trinket, blinking at the half-being in bewilderment. You were just about to ask Grimoire a question when your dream came suddenly to an end. "Morning has come," You have scarcely opened your eyes when astonishment seizes you, for there upon your bedside table glitters the tiny silver key from your dream. However long you ponder, you cannot imagine how or from where it came into your possession. For this occurrence, you can find no logical explanation. You take it between your fingers to feel its weight and turn it in the light. You examine it closely. It seems real. A joyful thought arises within you, that if the emerald is genuine, then surely you are rich indeed. You smile to yourself under your breath, yet what was Grimoire's warning? Guard it well, and always keep it with you. You decide that so you shall. After all, something rare has come into your keeping, and by no ordinary means, but in a manner wonderfully, almost frighteningly, mysterious. You resolve as well that you will discover not only what the key unlocks, but who left it with you, though where such an investigation might begin, you have not the faintest notion. You climb from your bed and devote yourself to the sacred rites of morning. You wash, then dress, and clatter into the kitchen to prepare yourself a cup of coffee, for surely the day cannot begin without it. You have scarcely poured the drink into your cup when the ballpoint pen lying upon the counter stirs. It rises into the air, and as though held by an invisible hand, begins to write upon the waiting notepad beside it. You have not yet tasted your coffee, and perhaps that is fortunate, for you would most certainly have choked on it. In disbelief, yet above all in utter bewilderment, you stare at the floating pen as, in cheerful defiance of every law of physics known to you, it scratches letter after letter across the paper. When its task is finished, the writing instrument leaves a message behind, then falls lifelessly back upon the counter. For a moment you do nothing but eye the note, which reads, "Go for a walk." Your first thought is that you most certainly shall not. No one from the other side is going to order you about. You are no whisperer of spirits. And besides, the morning coffee is sacred business. Without it, you are liable to become rather ill-tempered. You know not with whom, or with what, you are dealing, yet in your mind you argue with it quite effectively. You politely request that, if possible, it move along and trouble someone else. No one is to conduct paranormal affairs in your kitchen, least of all at this early hour. Yet these unseen forces have sought you out with firm purpose, and they do not mean to depart. The front door of your apartment slowly opens until it stands wide. You let out an enormous sigh. It is likely you are not hallucinating after all. You decide it is wiser to yield and take a little walk, since all signs suggest that the Great Spirit desires precisely this. Something within whispers that this is what must be done, and that all of it is happening for a reason. You feel no dread at all. On the contrary, curiosity has already begun to prick at you, wondering where all this may lead. So you gather yourself together and depart from home. Stepping out of the building, you have in truth no notion which way to go, when a soft voice sounds within you and whispers, "Watch and follow the signs." Trusting your instinct, you set off in one direction along the street. You stroll at an easy pace, and at the first crossing scarcely have you reached it when the signal changes to green, allowing you to pass. Soon you come upon a road closure, yet a great red arrow directs you neatly toward the way around it. Not long after, a car rushes past you. Music thunders from within, and the refrain cries out, "Just keep going down the road." Heaven knows how long you wander thus through the city. In time, you begin to doubt a little whether this is not all foolishness, to follow signs. What if you are taking for a sign that which is no sign at all? You are already thinking of abandoning the whole absurd business and returning home, when you suddenly realize that you are walking through a quiet, secluded little street and are just passing an antique shop. You stop. A powerful intuition rises within you that perhaps this is the place. You were meant to come here. Something has drawn you to it. As you study the building, you grow ever more certain that yes, you have come to the right place. You push open the door of the antique shop, and at once the little metal bell above your head rings out merrily, as though announcing your arrival. Upon entering, you immediately notice that you are entirely alone. There is no shopkeeper in sight, nor any customer. You find it rather curious, yet since you are here, you decide you may as well look around. The wares are displayed upon heavy antique furnishings. From the standing racks hang bright silk scarves and all manner of hats. Upon the shelves, everywhere you turn, are old jewel boxes, silver candlesticks, porcelain vessels, crystal figurines, oil lamps, and countless other curious objects. Many of them you cannot even determine the purpose of, and yet you do not see them as clutter, but as treasures. Stepping carefully, you wander between the rows, taking care not to knock something over and shatter it by accident. Then suddenly you hear a clatter from a distant corner of the shop. The sound came from farther away, yet you halt at once and instinctively turn, wishing to make certain it was not you who caused it. Reassured when all appears in order, you continue farther within. "Hello, is anyone here?" you call. Perhaps you are not alone after all. No one answers your question. At least, not in the manner you expect. A tapping sound reaches your ears. You follow it. It leads you to a beautifully hand-carved wooden casket. It had hidden itself well. You would swear the knocking came from within it. Gently you reach for it and lift it from among the other objects. You examine it and soon realize it cannot be opened. It requires a key. The key that the strange creature of your dream, Grimoire, if indeed he was real, seemed to have left with you. But how could he have known it would be needed? You do not dwell long upon the mystery. At once, you draw the little emerald-set key from your bag. It fits the lock perfectly. The moment you turn the key, the lock clicks, and you lift the lid of the casket. Inside, you discover the most beautiful snow globe in all the world. Not only is it beautiful, it seems almost to possess a soul. Within it stands a castle upon a hilltop, its towers rising so high that they nearly touch the top of the glass dome. You gaze at it, studying every detail, and discover that strange runic symbols appear to have been engraved upon its base. Sadly, you cannot understand their meaning, and so you simply continue admiring the wondrous ornament. You give the globe a gentle shake, and at once, rainbow-colored glitter begins to swirl thickly around the castle. The sparkling sight is enchanting, almost dizzying. The object steeped in magic responds instantly to your touch. You feel it growing warm in your hands. You might have marveled at this had there been time. You scarcely have time to blink before the snow globe pours a blinding flood of light over you. Moments later, the image of the antique shop and the brightness washing from your eyes is replaced by the sight of the most breathtaking landscape. As far as your gaze can reach, luxuriant forests spread wide, valleys lie hidden beneath veils of mist, flower-speckled hills rise in radiant colors, and lakes rest quietly in the folds of the mountains. Above the land, a castle of commanding majesty keeps watch. Its towers climb toward the heavens with grave and noble dignity. You realize that it is the very same castle that stood within the snow globe. You simply know that magicians dwell there. You can almost feel upon your skin that the castle lives and breathes. The air trembles faintly with the magic streaming from its ancient walls of many thousand years. The energies of mystery drift through its surroundings, while the wings of enchantment spread themselves protectively over the countryside. You do not even find it strange that you can so easily distinguish the subtle currents stirred by spells from the gentle wandering breeze that caresses the land. You are no longer in the antique shop, nor in the city where you live, and yet you do not despair. Instead, you feel that you have come home. You are happy and filled with excitement. A warming sensation moves through you, the feeling that once again, you are where you belong. Somehow, everything is new, and yet nothing is unfamiliar, as though a veil of forgetting had been lifted from your mind. Your gaze then falls upon the snow globe still clasped in your hand. It is perfectly clear to you that this is a magical instrument, one that aids passage between this world and the other. In the depths of your being, you feel that it is yours, that it was made for you and belongs with you. Not only the landscape, but your clothing too has changed. You wear a shirt, trousers, and high-collared boots. Upon your shoulders rests a hooded cloak, and at your side hangs a brown satchel. Into it, you slip the snow globe. You know that you must go to the castle. Important business awaits you there. Today is the great day. Today will be the ceremony of your initiation. You are to become, officially, a magician. The name of the city in whose heart the castle rises also returns to your mind. Eldam. With a bright smile upon your face, you set out along the path that leads there. As you walk, you reflect upon all that has happened, and an exhilarating thought strikes you. How splendid it is that you are, in truth, a dweller of more than one world at once. Upon entering the city of Eldam, you turn about in wonder, gazing after the people who pass beside you. With cheerful smiles upon their faces, they greet you with nods of the head, as though they knew you, and likely they do. Their garments recall an earlier age. The women move through the streets in magical satin gowns of lace and ruffles, with bell-shaped sleeves and laced bodices, like creations from a dream. Behind certain men, long black cloaks billow as they walk, while at their sides flash the hilts of daggers or crossbows, and their broad-rimmed boots strike sharply upon the cobblestones. These are the guardians. They are charged with the peace of Eldam and the safety of its people. For not only kindly forces are at work in these lands, you let your gaze travel over the city's neat houses, its ornate buildings, and its charming streets. Potted flowers adorn the window sills. Vines drape themselves across the fences of the front gardens, and upon the terraces, wind chimes fashioned of crystal ring delicately in the air. Along the streets, instead of oil lamps, bluish-green crystals the size of ostrich eggs are fixed atop the posts. They shimmer enchantingly in the sunlight that falls upon them. You know that by night, These are what illuminate all Eldom. There is no place in the city from which the magician's castle cannot be seen. You continue onward toward your destination with quiet confidence. With every passing minute you spend in this world, you move through its streets with ever greater ease, as though you had always belonged among them. You walk into the green and flourishing park at the heart of the city. You pass a great fountain and soon come beneath the trees. There you stop, where two crooked trunk trees bend together at their crowns, as though their branches formed a gateway above your head. Then you extend your right hand, your palm open toward the trees. Your hand acts of its own accord, as though some instinct within you knew perfectly what must be done. The simple gesture comes as lightly and naturally as drifting upon a gentle inner current. At once, within the archway formed by the trees, a pale green radiance ripples forth like a curtain of water. For several seconds you stand in delighted wonder at your own ability, that you can do such things, and then step into the passage opened by magic, which leads into the great marble hall of the magician's castle. Having entered the splendid hall, you glance back at the shimmering portal. Within that apparition, playing in all the colors of the rainbow, waver the images of the park trees and the gravel path beyond. Seizing the chance, you smooth your fingers over the glowing surface. To the touch, it is exactly like water, save that it leaves your fingertips tingling. Then the woven energies of the passage dissolve, and you turn toward the hall. All around the circular chamber stand ranks of marble statues. You cast a passing glance at the hermetic symbols painted into the stones of the floor. The selfsame signs run in an unbroken line about the walls and encircle the columns as well. At the sight of them, it is as though tiny fires are kindled within your veins. Your steps carry you toward the spiral staircase winding along the wall. You begin to climb. Upon the banister sit little goblin statues. Wings sprout from their backs. Upon their faces lurk wicked or foolish grins, and in their laps rest crystal spheres glowing with a white ember light. The gazes of the ugly little stone creatures creep after you. As you pass before them, they pull mocking grimaces, only to pretend once more to be lifeless the moment you look directly at them. One of them impudently snaps its pointed little teeth at your back, then hangs out again its broad and vacant grin. Wicked dwarfs, you mutter. You stick out your tongue at one of them, whereupon another returns the gesture at once. You suspect you stand no chance against them. They are leagues more mischievous than even the naughtiest children. As you study these statues, an old memory flashes through your mind. Lord Cedric, your tutor, and one of his companions created these devilish stone creatures. One evening, the two old bones had rather let themselves go. You have no notion what potion they were drinking, or perhaps sniffing, in the laboratory, yet the evidence speaks for itself. It loosened them admirably, and by the next day, when sobriety had returned, they no longer had the heart to destroy the little horrors, and chose instead to keep them. As you recall, someone was once bitten by one of them, and so you decide it is best to move along quickly. The interior of the castle resembles a labyrinth. Around you stretch corridors and arched doorways. Most chambers into which you glance are spacious libraries, or else mysterious laboratories where apprentices in robes pore over books while taking diligent notes. brewing bubbling and steaming potions and practicing spells. From your curious staring, you are roused by a message within the mind. You know at once that the wise and kindly voice sounding in your thoughts belongs to Lord Cedric. By the path of thought, the aged magician lets you know that he has long awaited your arrival and wishes you to join him in the rooftop garden. You suppose it was he who sent Grimoire to you, for you had become too deeply immersed in mortal existence and had dangerously forgotten your true identity. Lord Cedric believed it high time that you awaken from the dream of mortality and come to realize what power it is that you truly possess. And you answered the magical summons, and now you are here. In this world filled with wonders, in this place radiant with light, gleaming in living colors, and overflowing with spiritual harmony. As you draw nearer to the rooftop garden, you feel the current of your power flowing ever more strongly through your veins. When at last you ascend and step forth from the tower into the circular garden, you find yourself within an atmosphere of irresistible enchantment. Around you, pale veils of gauze drift softly in the air. A gentle breeze, sweet with fragrance, stirs them among the dark green ivy climbing the columns and the flowers breathing perfume from white vases. At the garden center, the crystal clear water of a fountain murmurs quietly. The columns are adorned with runes. Every magical pattern has been inlaid with clear quartz. The light that falls upon them is broken into 1,000 colors and scattered abroad, casting the whole garden in a mysterious radiance. Above your head, the stars glow like diamonds strewn across the night sky, dazzled by the swaying curtains of the northern lights. At this you marvel, for below you had but lately seen a sunlit blue heaven, and now before you stretches a portion of the universe itself. This garden reveals itself differently to each who enter, and shows each something different. It shows what lives within you. You hear the words of Lord Cedric. The aged master magician steps forth from between two columns. His dark violet cloak sweeps the ground. Beneath his long white beard rests a kindly, wise smile. He need not speak another word. From his ageless gaze shines how deeply he rejoices in this meeting. You feel the same. Your teacher knows that your inner transformation had already begun, long before you crossed the threshold of this world. Now it is high time that this transfiguration be brought to completion. He raises a hand in invitation, beckoning you farther into the magical court, and you gladly obey. With every step you take, you sink more deeply into the intoxicating spell of the garden. In this place, it seems as though the chains of your limitations had never existed. Here it is so easy to be yourself. You come to a halt in the center of the garden. Your gaze wanders steadfastly across the midnight blue sky. You cannot tear your eyes away from the galaxies, planets, and stars shining there. In the depths of your being, you feel a power pulsing forth that reflects your divine nature. More and more, you feel that it longs to express itself through you. It seethes hotly in your blood. The runes carved into the floor beneath your feet flare with blue radiance. The breeze begins to whisper softly around you. Only now do you understand. Having stepped upon the path of silence of mind and soul, through the uplifting sensation of light, your eternal bond with the magical power hidden within you, a magnificent gift that has belonged to you since the hour of your birth. Indeed, it was yours even before that. At this realization, a fiercer gust hastens around the garden. Nature can do no other than answer the wave of magic racing through you. Your cloak streams behind you like a banner. Crystal blue sparks of energy leap from your body, more and more of them, until they wholly weave themselves around you. The roaring wind dances a passionate waltz, casting fallen leaves and flower petals high into the air. A blinding flood of light pours forth from you, engulfing the garden, the castle, rushing over the countryside, into the mountains, and beyond them, touching every living thing. Your magical being expands as you unite with and are filled by the heavenly source that calls all existence into life. You feel within yourself its indescribable beauty and its protective power flowing. Your inner eyes are opened. Now you understand. You create your reality. You are the beginning and the end. You are the past, the present, the future. You are the light and the darkness. You are one with the all. In this nobly radiant and exalted state, you think as a god. You feel as a god. Now beyond all doubt, you know that your soul lives forever. It exists beyond space and time. Your physical body is but a smaller part of you. In truth, you are pure spirit. You are a limitless being. You are a focal point of universal consciousness. You know that within you lives a being whose knowledge is boundless. And this inner being is not only the knower of every answer, but the possessor of supernatural powers as well. And because you are a part of this being, you have inherited its gifts and its nature. You know that you are the fundamental creative and sustaining power. You give life to forms, to events, and to all phenomena. You know that you wholly command and direct the energies of the universe, and that at any moment you may fashion for yourself an entirely new reality through the power of your thoughts. In that moment, you understood. The physical world, though it stubbornly appears solid, is exquisitely sensitive to your thoughts and may be clothed in whatsoever form you choose. Then your consciousness seemed to soar outward in every direction of the universe. You awakened beyond the boundaries of yourself and suddenly experienced the true meaning of your primordial bond with nature. In spirit, made one with all things, you floated upon the bottomless and loving ocean of existence. You perceived yourself as pure awareness. You filled all space and permeated all things. You were present everywhere. Peace and warmth flowed through you. There was nothing to fear, and you feared nothing. There was only you. Once more you felt that boundlessness and safety which you knew before taking physical form, when you existed only as energy and consciousness, merged with all things, without form, without face or name. At last, slowly and gently, your awareness withdrew once more into your body. All grew still and pleasantly quiet around you. What remained was the certainty that you are the creator and that you possess an astonishing power to create. When you return to yourself, you discover with surprise that you have come back to your home. You are no longer in the castle, yet in your hands rests the carved wooden casket, and within it the enchanted snow globe. You rejoice, for the journey truly happened, and all that you have just experienced was real to you. Now you have no doubt. You may travel wherever you desire, and everything lies but a single thought away. You smile. You know that you may return to Eldom and to the magician's castle whenever you wish. Nothing prevents it. From this moment onward, the passage is simple. You decide that so you shall. and that the next time you go there, you will remain longer, so that you may visit the friends who dwell there. And now, slowly open your eyes. Though you have returned to the plane you know as your present reality, your consciousness now focused once more within this world, know that the realm you visited in imagination is no less valid, no less real, and no less embodied in another dimension. The divine presence living within you dreamed each of these worlds into being. Whenever you imagine something, you are always creating and traveling. And this process is far more than mere fancy, more than the wandering flight of imagination. You are a magician, and you may story yourself into any reality whatsoever. For it depends solely upon your consciousness which world you attune yourself to, and what form matter shall assume. A wondrous power slumbers within you. Allow the creative force of your soul to express itself through you. If you do so, it shall not only bring abundance into your life, but heal you as well. You create your reality. You bring forth all things within it. You need only turn your attention toward that which you desire. Remember that your success, your well-being, your prosperity, your wealth, and your health arise from within. It depends solely upon your consciousness what you manifest. Outside your own awareness, there is no other source of your reality. Now that you've awakened to the boundlessness of your creative power, know that under all circumstances you are free to bring forth whatever you desire. You deserve all good things. You yourself direct every energy. Within your own universe, you are the only thinker. Apart from you, no other has power over your life or over your world. You are free, and no one may take that freedom from you. You are the creator of worlds,